It's no secret My Hero Academia has exploded in popularity, so today's video in particular, I wanted to address something in regards to where does Deku and the series as a whole as well stack up against its predecessors and its contemporaries. And what I mean by that is, where does the series in terms of popularity, respect, and all around does it stand against the others that it has against its competition? Like, you know, for example, if we're talking contemporaries, it would be Black Clover, Seven Deadly Sins, those action series. And of course, if we're talking predecessors, we're talking the Narutos, the One Pieces, the Bleaches, you know, the Ichigos, the Luffys, you know, those characters or whatever. That's where we would be basically comparing them, because it's interesting to see with My Hero Academia, just, you know, to go back real quick, in the beginning with season 1, semi-decent hit, season 2, absolutely out the park, everybody loves it, and it's truly a huge deal. But you gotta ask, well, for starters, where would you compare it as of where it's right now in terms of popularity? You know, in comparison to like the big dogs, like Dragon Ball in particular, it's definitely not there yet, has a long way to go. I mean, Dragon Ball, it took it 30 years to get to where it's at right now, where it has generations of fans that follow it, including newer ones. So definitely a big difference there. So in terms of, you know, comparing it to something like Dragon Ball, no, not there yet. Naruto, it's not there yet either, but I definitely think that if we're going in comparison of respect and popularity, which there's two big things that you need with your series in order for it to have a lasting legacy, and it's those two things, respect and popularity. And I think My Hero Academia definitely has a bit of both. It has respect on the manga side, because the mangaka definitely likes to do things that, you know, most other series don't do, because it takes away from the popularity, in a sense of he'll focus in on the smaller characters from class A. Like, you'll get Mineta focused chapters, you'll get a Red Riot arc and shit like that. So he definitely gets the respect from people because he'll do those things. And on top of that, you know, find me a big major plot hole in My Hero Academia, and then, you know, you got me there. But in terms of, you know, quality writing, My Hero Academia definitely has that. And of course, if we're talking about popularity wise, right now My Hero Academia is in a very weird position, because shonen anime is in a transition now. We was used to, for many years, having the 100, 200, 300, 500 episode series, and, you know, even on One Piece is like in the 800 right now. That was the formula for a long time, and that was definitely a determination of, wow, your series has really went the distance. My Hero Academia is in a day and age where seasonal anime is a huge deal. One Punch Man, Tokyo Ghoul, My Hero, those are the series that, you know, when they come in seasonally with their 12 or 24 episodes, everybody pays attention, and it's like a huge deal. So My Hero Academia, it has already the popularity that a big seasonal will have, and you gotta kind of argue that, okay, it does that, but then at the same time, it's bringing in the mainstream Shonen Jump fans into it as well, which is a really big, good recipe to make something a really big hit, and also be able to push forth its popularity with its respect at the same time. So you see everything all flows along with it. And, you know, again, comparing it to Naruto, in terms of popularity, it's still not there. My Hero Academia or Deku aren't household names, you know, in a major scale yet. Obviously, there's some anime fans, I'm sure, that, you know, their mom knows about their Deku-kun or something like that. But in terms of, like, you know, it being a household name, at the very least, somebody has heard of Naruto. You know, when people call it Naruto, My Hero Academia is definitely not on that scale yet, but I think that it's somewhere close to there. And if we're comparing it to another series, because again, I'm showing the branches of popularity, One Piece is a little difficult to compare, because in Japan, nothing touches One Piece. Outside of Japan, it's not the biggest deal that it is over there. It's still a big deal. I mean, you got die-hard anime fans like me that fucking love our One Piece to death, but in terms of, you know, on a major scale, it's definitely in a weird place. So I tried not to really add it into the equation with this one, because in Japan, you know, it's a diamond in the sky. Over here, it's a diamond in the rough, so a little bit different. But if we're talking about a series like, for example, Fairy Tail, which Fairy Tail started off as a long runner, with the first series having, like, I believe 170 some odd episodes, and then it came back with a bunch of episodes. But it seems as though Fairy Tail went a different route with going seasonal in a sense. So if I was to compare something right now, I would definitely say My Hero Academia in terms of popularity, and 100% with respect, has surpassed Fairy Tail. It still has some of the cliches, it still is going to get the criticisms that, you know, come forth with having that type of popularity and being in Shonen Jump or whatnot, but I definitely would say, respect wise, there's not many people that are gonna rant about My Hero Academia. And in fact, there's not really much to rant about My Hero Academia, so it got the respect. In terms of popularity, go to a convention. You know what I'm saying? Look at the rankings. My Hero Academia has been able to penetrate the top 10 most viewed anime of the week charts. You know, that's a huge deal. So I would say in Japan and even in the US, My Hero has already surpassed Fairy Tail, but it's not quite up there to Naruto. And if you followed, you know, the industry and everything that's gone on with all these series for a while, then you'd know where the popularity scales lie. Honestly, Dragon Ball was a huge revitalization. Like, don't get me wrong, it's always been legendary since the 90s. Everybody knows about Dragon Ball Z, but Super just put it on the map of, like, you know, it's a new thing and everybody loves it. So again, that's in its own class, and I'm not trying to dick ride Super or anything like that. I'm just being real about how popular it is. There's people that don't know what anime is that love them some Goku. Now let's talk about Deku's impact in comparison to some of the other characters. Again, let's start talking about some of the contemporaries as far as where Deku lies in terms of having a long-lasting legacy. And again, with his popularity right now, I would definitely say Deku is far above Asta. I think Asta from Black Clover has a good start, but there's just so many challenges that face Black Clover because of the hate train behind the fact that it has many cliches. So right there, definitely you would say Deku is above him. Meliodas in the West, because of what's going on with the 7 Deadly Sins, where Netflix has it and it's not getting properly released or whatever, unfortunately Meliodas really isn't as popular or anywhere close to as popular as Deku. And really, there's some iconic stuff, and we're not talking in terms of quality here comparing them, we're just talking about popularity wise. Deku is, you know, in his contemporary class, there's not many others aside from Saitama that you would say is really on that level, but especially in the weekly Shonen Jump or the weekly Shonen type of deals with seasonal anime behind them, yeah, Deku is up there, and Saitama is really one of the only ones that I could think of that is up there with him, probably a little bit ahead of him, but then again, the One Punch Man hype train was humongous. Comparing him to some of his predecessors, again, Goku no, Naruto no, Luffy no. I would even argue that as of right now, he still hasn't surpassed the legacy of Ichigo Kurosaki. Don't get me wrong, Bleach isn't as popular as it used to be, but in terms of the legacy left behind and the big moments, I think Deku still hasn't surpassed that, either the big three or any of that. I think we're slowly getting to a point where My Hero Academia is making, like, oh, the hate train of Fairy Tail a distant memory, because a lot of people really have transferred over. And again, I think that's where it stands in terms of, you know, where the popularity is and even the impact that Deku has had as a main character. He's up there, but he still has a ways to go, and My Hero Academia has a ways to go before they're truly going to be like, okay, they're definitely the new Naruto or the new Dragon Ball, because they're just in a class of their own. Dragon Ball was so big that it came back with Super and still became a mega sensational hit. Likewise with Naruto, it went into Boruto, and while there's some people that might not like Boruto too much, it's still ongoing, still successful, and still carrying on with the manga and anime. So My Hero Academia has ways to go, but that's where I kind of rank where it is right now in terms of those things. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about all of this, though. What type of impact in comparison to some of the characters around him with popularity and just overall iconic things that he's done does Deku stack up against, like, you know, the Gokus and Narutos, but also the Astas and Meliodases? And My Hero Academia, how popular you think it is at this point, and how big is it at this point? Where would you compare it in terms of, you know, being that shonen? Is it bigger than all of its contemporaries but still weaker than the big dogs? Again, Fairy Tail was a very big success and still is successful, so the fact that My Hero Academia can be talked about, that it has surpassed that, big deal. Any overall thoughts of all this? Just wanted to talk about My Hero Academia, where it stands right now. A lot of you guys know, I mean, most of you voted on My Hero Academia to be the next big thing that I talk about more often on the channel. You know, I talk about it for the past month now. I've been doing at the very least one discussion a week. Let's get it to 2 or 3, and we're just having a great time. My Hero Academia, the best thing about it, just like with One Piece and a lot of other series where it has a combination of its quality, you ain't gonna find a big plot hole in My Hero Academia or big inconsistency or anything like that, and it's also popular, really awesome stuff. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.